Hello, welcome to Escrow Escapes. This is the real estate stories, market trends, and true tales from the front lines of closings. I am Matthew Halliday, Navy veteran and father of three girls, also a full-time real estate agent. Let's get into it. Welcome to Escrow Escapes. I'm your host, Matthew Halliday, and today we dive into a closing day surprise that almost cost a buyer their house. Picture this: signatures done, lender approved, keys nearly in hand. Then an email. The HOA flags unpermitted exterior work and fines. The estoppel is late. The HOA says they won't issue it until fines are cleared. Title won't insure without it, and funding stops. Suddenly, the buyer is sweating over a locked-in rate, and the seller can't get their payout. Let's break it down. Here's what you'll walk away with. Simple ways to spot HOA trouble early, contract moves to protect funds, and a short communication playbook to move the HOA when time's tight. Plus one quick line to add to your offer that can save a closing. The situation started ordinary. A modest townhome, midweek closing, buyer excited. The seller's disclosure looked normal, and the inspection didn't raise alarms. Title ordered searches, but the HOA package, especially the estoppel, was delayed. Then the HOA emailed unapproved exterior work and assessed fines. Management said they wouldn't issue an estoppel until the fines were paid or confirmed cured. Title couldn't insure. Funding paused. Not fun, right? That's messy. And it's also a sequence we can prevent if we break it into a few concrete moves. Here's where people trip up. Waiting on the estoppel until the last minute. Order it as soon as your offer is accepted. What to ask for immediately. CC&Rs, the HOA estoppel, the current ledger showing outstanding balances, and any recent violation or enforcement records. If you can get 2 years of meeting minutes, even better. Those will show projects, assessments, or ongoing disputes. If the seller's disclosure mentions HOA disputes, flag that and ask your agent or title officer for the correspondence right away. The documents tell you whether an unapproved paint job is a paperwork hiccup or a pattern of strict enforcement that could stop a closing. Here's a quick checklist you can read to your agent. Please order the HOA estoppel, current ledger, any pending violation notices, and the governing documents within 72 hours of acceptance. Short, direct, and it creates a paper trail. Next, let's talk money and protection. What to do when fines show up late. When a fine or unpaid assessment appears near closing, you generally have three paths. The seller pays it off before funding, the parties agree to a closing credit, or you hold funds in escrow until the HOA provides a written cure. Each option has pros and cons. That's painful, but fixable. Seller payoffs clear title and let funding proceed, but not every seller has the cash on hand. A buyer credit compensates the buyer, but it doesn't remove a lien if the HOA records one. An escrow holdback keeps money available to satisfy the HOA, but protects the buyer and lets title issue insurance once the terms are met. A plain sentence to add to escrow instructions works well. Hold X dollars of seller proceeds in escrow until the HOA issues a written estoppel or cure letter confirming fines are cleared. Ask your title officer what X should be based on the ledger and typical processing time. A. Protect earnest money too. If you're the buyer and uneasy about a possible lien, negotiate a termination right tied to unresolved HOA liens or violations in the estoppel. That way you can recover earnest if the HOA records something that materially changes title risk. Finally, when time's short, communication is your fastest fix. Pick up the phone to the HOA manager first, then send a short email that creates a documented timeline. Who you are, property address, closing date, and a request for an expedited estoppel or cure letter with a deadline. Ask for a written payoff and a timeline to remove any lien. If the HOA insists only the homeowner can pay, ask the seller to sign a limited payment authorization or settlement agreement so escrow can wire payoff instructions. If the HOA refuses that, request a written list of the exact steps to cure the violation and how long each step will take. That helps title and the lender decide if an extension or holdback is realistic. When should you call in title or counsel? If the HOA is threatening to record a lien, if fines are large compared to the sale proceeds, or if enforcement seems discretionary and unclear, involve your title officer, and for big-ticket disputes, consult an attorney. Title can often negotiate timing and escrow language. A lawyer helps with interpretations and formal disputes. Here's a short agent script you can drop into an email or say on a call. Hi, this is Sarah with ABC Realty. Contract for 123 Maple. Our buyer's funds are ready to wire. Can you issue an estoppel or a cure letter confirming any fines are paid by 4 p.m. tomorrow? If not, please provide a written payoff and timeline so we can request an escrow holdback. Deadlines get attention. Before we go, 3 simple moves that save deals. 1. Order the estoppel and HOA records as soon as acceptance hits. 2. Include contract or escrow language for seller payoffs, credits, or a realistic holdback. 3. Move quickly with phone calls and documented emails, and involve title or counsel when liens or big fines appear. One practical tip to use right now. Add this sentence to your offer or agent instructions. Please provide the HOA estoppel, current ledger, and any pending violation notices within 72 hours of acceptance. Save that line and use it every time. If this saved you from a closing surprise, hit subscribe. I'll keep the checklists and real story breakdowns coming. That's a wrap on this episode of Escrow Escapes. Thanks for listening, and remember, every deal has its bumps. It's how you navigate them that counts. Catch you next time. Thanks for listening to Escrow Escapes. For more real estate tips, market updates, and behind-the-scenes stories, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. I am Matthew Halliday. We'll see you on the next closing. Thanks. Have a great day.